Tighten up.
Yep.
Dave Palumbo here with an RX Muscle rant. Today's topic is going to be the new decriminalization law that's taken place in Oregon. They voted, they passed it. All drugs now are no longer going to be held in that felony area, meaning that they've decriminalized the use of recreational drugs. Marijuana has been legal there, I believe, for quite a while now, but now if you get caught with heroin or cocaine or anabolic steroids for that matter, because they were controlled substances, you can no longer be prosecuted like you were committed a felony. I think the maximum fine now is $100, and that's if you have a lot of the stuff. So just possession of having these drugs is no longer going to be punishable the way it was, and which is going to obviously free up a lot of space in their prison systems there. I'm sure there'll be taxation on drugs that they do sell legally, and I don't know what will be able to be sold legally there in terms of, I know marijuana is sold legally there and they tax that, which is great because it brings in revenue for the state, but will you be able to buy mushrooms in the local 7-Eleven there, which is what you can do in Amsterdam? And it seems like psilocybin, which is the active ingredient in these mushrooms that have been used to treat depression and stuff like that, will be something that will be legalized there and be legally sold there. That's not so exciting, I guess, for the bodybuilding community, although some people do use recreational drugs. More exciting, however, is if you use anabolic steroids now in Oregon and you get caught with them, pulled over, whatever the case may be, you cannot be prosecuted, okay, as a felon. You will be fined $100. This is tremendous news because now we have the first state in the United States where you could actually go and not have to be worried about being treated like you're, Al Capone, so to speak, or a major drug lord. Will bodybuilders now migrate to the state of Oregon and make their home base there? Because now they can use anabolics. They can import them wherever they get them from. If they get caught with them, it's not a big deal. They pay a $100 fine and they go on about their day. I think most bodybuilders would be okay with that. And I think that it would be a lot easier for bodybuilders who have to use anabolic steroids, or who choose to use anabolic steroids is probably a better way to put it, to not have to worry about, I'm going to go to jail if I get caught with these things. I mean, if I was competing in this current climate, it might be an appealing move to go to Oregon, find a home-based gym there, maybe build my own gym there, open a business, and then have to say, you know what, I don't have to worry about doing my craft, okay, and I can still live in the United States. And whereas, some bodybuilders have moved to Mexico and other places where they're legalized, but, Kuwait. But the bottom line is that this is also another very good step in the right direction, because if Oregon can change its policies, then other states can do that. Don't be surprised if Nevada, Las Vegas, is the next to go, and maybe future states. Now, I know New Jersey just legalized marijuana, and I know a few bodybuilders who live in Jersey will be very happy about that, but imagine anabolic steroids get legalized in New Jersey. Another very appealing place to set up home base, especially since New York and that tri-state area is very popular for, top-level bodybuilders. So this is good news. To be honest with you, I didn't think in my lifetime I'd ever see the legalization of drugs in this country. It's a wonderful thing. I think they should make them all legal. You should be able to buy them in pharmacies. You should be able to get legal prescriptions from doctors, and they can tax the hell out of them for all they want. They tax cigarettes. People still smoke, right? I wouldn't mind as a bodybuilder buying what I needed with a high taxation on it, so that the government can justify, making some money and applying it to programs in society. And then the people who need it to get the stuff can get the stuff legally, and they don't have to worry about testing it, underground stuff. This is a very important decision that was voted on and passed in this past election. You might not like the presidential election. It might be a complete lunacy over there. But I got to tell you, this little side note of what went on in Oregon and the decriminalization of controlled substances is huge. And if it spreads throughout the country, this will change the climate of how we do business here, so to speak. We can clean out the jails of all the drug offenders that shouldn't be there to begin with, and they should be in rehab. And guess what? It's going to really, really change society, I think, for the better. And I think this is a great, really great news for bodybuilders, because in the next 5 years, a lot could change, and you don't have to walk around like you're a criminal anymore. You don't have to worry about it. And maybe the quality of the anabolics that will be available on the market, because maybe more people will start, more pharmaceutical companies will start selling it legally, and maybe it'll be become much more prevalent that doctors can write prescriptions and not worry about losing their license, and people can go buy this stuff legitimately and not have to worry about it, because maybe this country will finally lose its puritanical roots and release that conservative nature about drugs, and just say, hey, look, people use drugs, and if we make them illegal, more people are going to want to use them, and there's going to be more criminal activity in this country. So hopefully in my lifetime, I will see a day where, if a person chooses to want to put a few inches on their arm, they can go into the local CVS and they can buy a bottle of testosterone, a bottle of Decadurabolin, a bottle of Anavar, and a kit of human growth hormone, and it won't be a big deal, and they can pay for it, with their credit card, and they can go home and use it under, safe, sanitary conditions. They don't have to worry about what they're using is fake or not. And then they can go to their doctor and they can get blood work, and they can tell their doctor, hey, I purchased this at CVS and I want to make sure that I'm doing this safely. Because that's the right way to do things. We shouldn't have to, as bodybuilders, as athletes, walk around like we're criminals, worry about the fact that we're harming our health because we don't know what we're putting in our body. Very, very positive note coming out of the 2020 election, a year in which nothing seems to be going right and everything is completely in outer space. This was the first sane thing that I've seen. So, guys, make sure if you see these referendums on your ballot, when you go vote in future elections, vote for them. Oregon is doing it right. If I'm a bodybuilder, I might be making my pilgrimage out to Oregon, which may become the new mecca of bodybuilding. I'm Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle News Update.